Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art session series. And today we're going to be doing a sketch or a voiceover of a sketch. But this time, I think I switched my brush to something more opaque. So it's like an oil brush compared, or you contrast this to the previous brushes we use. It's more watercolor-esque, which means it's going to have more opacity. But when I did those sketches, my main challenge was trying to build up a value or a color fast enough, because since I have a time limit, I noticed that because of those brushes that had a lot of opacity, I had to use multiple strokes to be able to build up like a decent amount of like opaqueness in an area. But I did notice for this brush, that's not watercolor like based, or it doesn't have those vibes. It's very like gouache, oily. I was able to build up values and forms a lot faster, which means I can design or experiment or sculpt things faster as well. And it's not like I'm losing any kind of expressiveness when I'm doing this. I can keep the same sort of bold strokes as I did last time, but the main advantage here is I'm able to construct things a lot faster. And right now you can actually see from this view the brush spacing. I used to not like that, but over time I think it adds a bit of a texture. I mean, yeah, you can have texture from the brush itself, but just by changing or increasing the brush spacing a bit, not only will it speed up the brush, because the more tighter brush spacing is, the slower it's going to be. So it can, by having it spaced out a bit, yeah, it can like speed up a brush, which means it's going to speed up your workflow. But also it can give you a bit of that natural teeth to your work, which can often be missing when you're doing digital art. I mean, you can add some teeth after, or again with like a texture with your brush that you can sort of add in, or you could add like a noise texture in the end, or you could sharpen the image after you're done painting or rendering. But I think having some brush spacing, it's okay. I don't totally hate it. Now I'm not exactly sure what I was drawing here. It's kind of like a head, a helmet. Again, when you're doing these types of things, or when I do these, I'm just trying to find the forms, and I just end up doing things that look like either a head of like a creature, an alien, or like a helmet mecha design or something, or some kind of sci-fi suit. That's just where I tend to gravitate towards too. And I think it's good to paint this way with like one, with one brush, with in this case like an opaque brush, but also aside from the time limit as well. I think if you just paint in one layer, you can develop like a certain confidence. And I think this is something that I've done for so long that even though I'm not fully confident with my, say, design ability, or my visual library may suck, a lot. But when it comes to just, being in the canvas and just putting strokes in, especially when I'm in this like painterly mode, I don't have this confidence when I'm drawing as much. I have a little bit, but it's not to this level. I just feel like I belong in some way. Or I'm just not, even though I don't know the subject, I know eventually I'm gonna get it right, because I can just keep adding strokes, taking away strokes, painting over my mistakes, accentuating, amplifying certain like edges or whatever. And you can see me also, for example, in the edge of this like sketch, I'm not using the erase tool. I'm simply hitting or selecting the white from the white canvas in the background, and I'm using that to paint over certain edges that I don't like. Now, some of you may like switching between the brush and the eraser, but to me, it's kind of slow when I do that. I like paint. Yeah, it can be a bother when you're trying to eventually add something in the background, when you have to use some more layers. Sure, you're going to have to do a bit of cleanup there because of the amount of white you've painted on top of your sketch. But when you're just doing this like in one layer, it's just a habit that I've developed. And it's not bad. I think it develops confidence a bit. I learned this method, I think, first via Feng Zhu. it used to like not make sense as much because, you know, Photoshop has a lot of layers, like why not take advantage of it? But now that I'm here, I see why it's kind of essential, because I think you can over rely so much on layers, and like if you're too much of a beginner and you start using layers, I think you don't get to develop this skill of boldness. It's kind of like sketching with a ballpoint pen or some kind of marker. I'm not saying you don't ever sketch with like a pencil or you know, stuff like that, but it just means it kind of forces you to be a bit more direct, right? So in this way, when you're painting in one layer, it's like the digital version of that, you know, painting or drawing with an ink brush or an ink pen or a ballpoint pen. Like you have no choice but to be confident, because if you make a mistake, then you just move on to the next sketch until you can get it right. Now the advantage here is even if you make a mistake, you can just paint over it, right? So that's sort of the cool thing about it. And I do recommend, if you're going to paint on top of something and you have like a short amount of time to paint, get a brush, make a brush. You could use the round brush, just make sure it doesn't have as much opacity. And maybe if it has a little bit, make sure it's quite sensitive to the pen pressure of your pen. So with just a bit of pressure, it's gonna be very opaque. So just play around, not just with your brush settings, but with the settings of your tablet. It's kind of the hidden, it's a not so talked about thing, but I think if you don't have a proper understanding of how your tablet settings work in terms of pen pressure and how your brush settings work in terms of pen pressure, I think even in programs, for example in Clip Studio Paint, I think it has extra settings where you can change like the overall brush sensitivity or whatever, or pen sensitivity. So that, you know, it's a very important thing. Now, if you have work where you don't need pen pressure, fine. But I think for most artists, this is quite crucial. Whether for painting, whether for line art, I think it's something you can't really ignore. I think I removed that part in the top of the head. I actually like the older version where it was just like a light blue, but I think I eventually painted over this. I'm not even sure, but yeah, it's not working for me. And sometimes when you do this, even though you don't really know what you're painting, you know when something is kind of off shape-wise, like the visual side of it, like the graphical shape sort of flow. Sometimes it just like something is off, and like that's valuable. That's valuable. You don't have to know like the full mechanics of something. I think when you do these sorts of like when you approach these types of paintings, I think it's good to just focus on the shapes. You don't have to stop there, but because you will eventually know if something flows, if something is too like heavy, or if something is too contrasting, if something needs to be like toned down or totally erased. I think this is sort of a secret when it comes to, not a secret, but a fundamental thing is shapes. It's shape design. You will see this a lot, this subject in concept art, or maybe even graphic design. You want to think of the silhouette of your whole figure, of your whole subject. Like, does it make sense? Does it have balance? Because if you have like the right amount of shapes, or if it's like if the relationships are kind of interesting, that thing that you're drawing could be an environment. It could be a spaceship. It could be some kind of alien face, right? And the reason why it's going to be interesting as either of those things is because take away the environmental, anatomical, mechanical like context, the shapes are already interesting to begin with. So when you do these kinds of like quick painting sketches, I think you get to really like study or practice your shape confidence and design when you give yourself the opportunity to not focus too much on like the details, right? So you don't have to do this, by the way, but it could be something that you could shine on, right? Or maybe as a warm-up. It doesn't have to be your main thing. You could do this as like a doodle or a warm-up, or a, how do you call it, like a cool down session. Like once you're done with your main kind of art practice, then you can play around with this kind of approach, and I think you'll have fun. I know I did. And I think I'm going to use more of this brush just because I like the the quickness of it and how bold it can look very quickly. As much as the wash watercolor like textures are cool, for this amount of for the time limit I have doing these sessions, I can use those types maybe for longer paintings, illustration, but for quicker like concepts, I think being bold, direct, and being efficient, meaning I don't have to use so many strokes to achieve something, is the way to go. So I'm gonna leave the episode here. Hopefully you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you in the next episode.